Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I rise with just a couple of comments. I do not have any questions for the proponent, so he can continue enjoying his dinner if that's what he is doing. One of the reasons that I don't have any questions for the proponent is because so many of my colleagues have asked so many great questions. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the great work of my colleague from the 134th and the impassioned pleas of my colleague from the 23rd, who did an absolutely tremendous job. I was particularly moved by his comments and questioning. You know, I was just listening to my colleague from across the aisle talking about essentially people saying no all along to tolls, saying no to taxes, essentially saying now is when we have to have the courage to act to start to fix the STF. And I can't help but think that, sure, we need to act now, but we probably needed to act years ago. We probably needed to have the courage years ago to stop sweeping from it, to stop diverting from it. We probably had to have the courage years ago to not put fringe benefits for employees in it, which have nothing to do with maintaining our roads. So it's a little bit disingenuous to say that now we need to have the courage to act when we've needed to have the courage to act for years. We literally just talked about dairy farmers. Product moved by carriers, dairy. We exempted them because we identified the fact that there's a certain class of retailer, there's a certain industry that can't raise prices. Why do they need to raise prices? Because they're going to incur more of a cost. And every other business is going to raise prices. It's quite simple. It's implicit in what we just did. We just exempted an industry because we knew they'd have to raise prices. We could sit here and exempt every other industry and find a great reason to do it. Prescription drugs, seniors are having a harder time than ever paying for them. Let's exempt those. Food is higher than ever in cost. Let's exempt that. My colleague just joked about chicken wings, but go to any restaurant. Every restaurant. I went to a restaurant the other day. The prices were scribbled off. There were temporary prices put on because prices continue to skyrocket. Finally, we heard a little bit earlier that this is a step in the wrong direction. It's a foot in the door. There was an article just the other day. I think it was in the Washington Post, I think. It was about 2 states in the country that have already imposed, that have already started a mileage tax. Now, I heard my good colleague earlier say that we have specific legislation that says that we won't do that. But you know what? Legislation is just one vote away from being changed. And there's something on the board right now which says concerning a highway use fee. And all it takes is the affirmative vote of this chamber on another bill right on that board to say that we're going to have a mileage tax and that it's going to be on every single passenger vehicle in this state. This bill says the wrong thing, it gives the wrong message, and it's not the solution we need. The real solution we need is that we need to fix our STF, make it a real lockbox so we can stop diverting, stop sweeping, and that's how we really start to fix our transportation problems. I really appreciate the time, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative.